Good evening. Welcome to the ICSE Class 9 Maths tutorial. Today's topic is coordinate geometry. Types of questions, tentative. First, plotting the points in the Cartesian plane. Second, solving simultaneous linear equations graphically. Third, distance formula. I have divided the chapter into three parts. In part 1, the first subtopic, plotting the points in the Cartesian plane. In part 2, I'll give lecture on how to solve simultaneous linear equations graphically, and in part 3, we will be discussing about distance formula. So today, part 1. Part 1. Part 1. Now suppose, as you can see here, these are the two sheets of paper. Right. Suppose you have put a dot on a sheet of paper, and if I ask you to tell me the position of the dot, what will you do? Perhaps you will say that the dot is in the upper half of the paper, or near the left edge of the sheet of paper, or in the left corner, in the left upper corner of the paper. But tell me, do any of these statements fix the position of the dot precisely? The answer is no. Now if you say the dot is at a distance of 2 centimeters from the left edge of the paper, then you get little help, little idea. Still, the position of the dot is not fixed. Now if you add one more information, because when you say it is at a distance of 2 centimeters from the left edge of the paper, then it could be here also, it could be here, it could be here, because each and every point on this line is at a distance of 2 centimeters from the left edge of the paper. So where is the point? Here, 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 here. That means you cannot fix the position of the dot on the sheet of paper with this one information. Now if you add one more information, like the point is, okay, it is at a distance of 2 centimeters from the left edge of the paper. At the same time, it is at a distance of 10 centimeters from the bottom line of the sheet of paper. Now you can locate, you can fix the position of the point. Now you know exactly where the dot is, where the point is. Alright? So for this purpose, we fixed the position of the dot by specifying two mutually perpendicular lines. One, in this case, the left edge of the paper, and second, the bottom line of the paper. Correct? Now, in other words, we need two pieces of information to fix the position of the dot, in the plane on the sheet of the paper. In this discussion, we see that the position of any object lying in a plane can be represented with the help of two mutually perpendicular lines. In this case, in the case of dot, these are the two mutually perpendicular lines. One is the bottom line of the sheet of paper, and second, the edge of the left edge of the paper. Right. Now, this simple idea has given rise to a very important branch of mathematics called coordinate geometry. Today we are going to discuss some basic concepts of coordinate geometry. In detail, you will learn in higher classes. But today's basic idea and basic concept will help you in higher classes also. Now, this study was initially developed by the French philosopher and mathematician René Descartes. In honor of Descartes, the system used for describing the position of a point in a plane is known as Cartesian system. Now we take two perpendicular lines, two lines which are perpendicular to each other, as you can see in the figure. The point of intersection of the two mutually perpendicular lines is called the origin. The horizontal line is called the x-axis and the vertical line is called the y-axis. Since the positive numbers lie in the directions OX and OY, so OX is called positive direction of the x-axis, positive x-axis, and OY is called the positive direction of the y-axis, that is positive y-axis. Similarly, as you can see in the figure, OX dash negative x-axis and OY dash negative y-axis. You see that the axes divide the plane into four parts. These four parts are called the quadrants, 1/4 part, numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the anti-clockwise direction from OX, say in the figure. So the plane consists of the axes and these four quadrants. The axis means the x-axis, as you saw in the figure, the x-axis, the y-axis, and the four quadrants. Alright. We call this plane a Cartesian plane, a coordinate plane, or xy plane. The plane which consists of the coordinate axis and the four quadrants, we call this plane as the Cartesian plane, the coordinate plane, or the xy plane. The axes are called the coordinate axes. Plural of axis, x-axis, y-axis. This is origin. The point of intersection of the two mutually perpendicular lines is called the origin, right? Okay. Now, see another figure, another diagram. Now, in this diagram, we are going to find out the distances. The figure that I am going to show you now. In this figure, we are going to find out the distances of the points P and Q from the axes. See in this figure. As you can see, there is x-axis, there is y-axis, there is origin, the point of intersection, and there are 2 points P and Q. Now, we draw perpendicular from the point P on the x-axis, it is PM. We draw perpendicular from the point P on the y-axis, it is PN. Similarly, from Q, we draw 2 more perpendiculars, PR and PS. PR on the x-axis and PS on the y-axis. Now, if you see, OM is 4 units and ON, that means MP, is 3 units. That means the distance of the point P from the x-axis is 3 units and from the y-axis is 4 units. Okay. Now let's learn how to plot the points in the Cartesian plane. Okay. Let A43 be a point in the plane, and we are going to plot this point in the Cartesian plane. See in the figure, A43 is a point, and we are going to plot this point in the Cartesian plane. Alright, see in the figure, the point is A43, that means x is equal to 4, that is abscissa is 4, and y is equal to 3, that is ordinate is 3. We have to plot this point, the coordinates in the plane. As you can see, the coordinates of the point 43 tell us that the distance of this point from the y-axis along the positive x-axis is 4 units, and the distance of the point from the x-axis along the positive y-axis is 3 units. Now, starting from the origin O, we count 4 units on the positive x-axis and mark that point. Remember that marking. You may call it some M and something. Let us say M. That point is M. And now starting from M, we move in the positive direction of y-axis and count 3 units and mark the point as A. See in the figure? This is the point A43. Now let's plot some more points. Some more points I have plotted. Just have a look. See in the figure, point B is minus 2, 5. See how I have plotted B minus 2, 5. Now one more thing I would like to tell you. In the first quadrant, both x and y are positive. In the second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. In the third quadrant, x and y both are negative. In the fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative. So if you see, for example, in this point, for this point B minus 2, 5, x is negative, y is positive. Alright? Clear? Thank you so much.